Welcome, class, to your 4-2A lesson. Today you are going to look at polynomials, and this is a review lesson from Algebra 1, but it's good to relearn this. Today you're going to add polynomials, subtract polynomials, and we are going to multiply monomials or a monomial to a polynomial today. So have your 4-2 notes out and ready. All right, let's fill in some vocabulary to start. Whenever you're adding or subtracting, really think like terms that have the same variable with the same exponent. So if they're like each other, you can combine them. So look at the exponent. When there's something missing, that really is a 1, and this one is x squared. So those are actually not like each other. Then here, this is y cubed. This is also y cubed. So yes, these are like terms. So you are able to add the numbers in the front. And when you add the numbers in the front, those are called coefficients. So adding, subtracting numbers, coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. But remember, when you add like terms, make sure the exponents stay like each other. For example, if I combine these two, this y cubed and this y cubed are like each other. So if I put them together, my final answer will still have y cubed, and I can just add or subtract the numbers in the front. So in this case, that would be a positive 6, y to the third power. Okay, all right, let's write down a few examples. This right here is a plus. It's kind of light, but this is plus. Only combine things that are like each other. Some of you might want to box things that are same. So this is x squared. That one's x squared. Remember, there's a negative one here. So you combine those. So you have negative 5. And notice x squared is the same. So like each other, they stay. And let's do a different color or circle or underline this. This is a negative 6, x to the first, positive 7x to the first. So that's positive 1. And then lastly, just the constants or the numbers, positive 18 and positive 8 add up to a bigger positive number. And that is it. You need to stop right there. These are no longer like each other. Okay? Pause, try B on your own, and then replay the video when you're ready to check. All right, I hope you got a chance to try it. See how did you do. If you look at these, none of these were like terms. This one was cubed, this one was squared, so you can't combine them. This was an x to the first, and this one had no x's at all. So really look at what things are like each other. When you're writing this, they ask for standard form. Standard forming is highest degree to lowest. So highest exponent to low, to low, to low. So that is standard form always. All right, let's try a few more. Again, really, if you didn't get a chance to try, please pause the video, and then you can check these quickly to see how accurate you are. All right, ready to check these. And you can box things that are similar. Be careful where they're placed. They're not always the first or the second two. Okay, and your final answer, and put it in standard form, the highest to second highest. This is the first and nothing. Okay, ready to check your answer for D. And look for things that are similar. X to the fifth is there's one of them, so copy that one. Positive 1 and positive 2 can combine. You combine the cubes. There's only one that has the x squared, but these two have x to the first. So putting in descending order, this is what your final answer should be. Remember, if you write plus and negative for x cubed, it does mean the same. Again, pause the video anytime you want to slow it down and check your work. All right, let me show you what subtraction looks like. So whenever you're subtracting polynomials, think it's the first minus the second. So x squared here, x squared here. So I'm taking positive 5x squared minus 1 of these x squares. And I could take negative 8x minus 2 more of these x's. So you can still think of this, but think of subtraction. Okay. Negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10, and positive 12, but minus a negative. So really they cancel out. The opposite of this negative really is plus. So it's really plus 5, and I get 17. Okay, if you're okay with those steps, you're welcome to follow to do so. Another way to do this is distributing. So if you treat this number right here is a 1, so it's really negative 1. You could distribute your negative 1, so there's a negative 4x squared, and negative times negative is a positive 15. So you could treat it that way. Recopy that first part, so I have positive one of these. Now add like terms. Anything that are similar where their exponents are equal, you may add the coefficients in the front, which are like terms. In this case, I don't see anything that are like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and write in standard form. So the highest to lowest to low to low. So this would be my final answer. Okay. All right, let's try a few more. Pause if you can and really try this on your own, and then replay the video when you're ready to check. All right, ready to check them? I do prefer distributing this negative sign. So if I distribute and change all these to the opposite sign, so that's what I would suggest. Another thing, especially if you have this written down, is stacking them. I'm going to go ahead and write it as the opposite, but I'm going to stack them. So my x squares are lined up, my x to the first, so my like terms are already lined up. That way when I add, I can add more carefully and just be careful. So positives make a bigger positive. These two negatives make a bigger negative. And these two positive give me these. So again, pause the video, try D, maybe stacking so these do not look too terrible. And stack things are like each other. When you're ready to check your answers. Now add like terms. So this is distributing all these opposite symbols here, and I boxed the correlated color. So if you could color or circle, underline, box, triangle, things that are similar. Okay. And look at my x to the fourth. This is a positive, that's a negative, so they cancel out. This is the only one that was x cubed. Don't lose that negative sign in the front. X squared, there's a -3 and a -5, which gives me -8. And the two positive 10 and positive 7 single x gives me positive 17, and the constants of -2, -13 will give me -15. How did you do? Remember, correct anything you note so you have good examples to refer back to. Okay. All right, we're going to do a few more examples. I know it says A is adding and subtracting, but I like to reintroduce multiplying. So when you have two single monomials, you can multiply the numbers. So coefficient is the number in the front, and you add those exponents. Okay, so let's do a quick refresh. So here I can multiply the numbers. 3 times 5 is 15. But you think of this x squared really as x times another x in the front. So really it's 3x's multiplied. So x cubed is what you would write. Okay? All right, so for letter B, -10 times a positive 1 is still -10. Remember, you write this out. These are 3x's multiplied, and that's 4x's multiplied. So in all, there were 7x's multiplied. Okay? And pause this video, try C and D, and see how you do and replay it when you're ready to check. All right, here on letter C, were you careful? A negative times a negative is positive, and 4 times 2 is 8. And check those variables. Remember, we're adding, not multiplying those exponents. Right here, 6x is multiplied, and in the front we have 2x's multiplied. All right, for this last one, D, highly recommend to see that x squared on the outside. It really does help if you take a moment and you write it out 2 times. Now, this problem looks like all the rest that we just did. So it's really 7 times 7, which is 49, and x cubed times x cubed is x to the 6th power. Okay, so these are not too bad. As long as you take your time, be careful of the steps, and you should be just as accurate. All right, here's our last group to try. Really pause the video, see how well you can do from beginning to end, and then replay the video when you're ready to just check your answers. Okay. For here, we would distribute. So anytime you see a plus and minus sign, it tells you have to multiply 2 times. So from here times here, and then you'll distribute the 5x to that -8. So 15x squared and -40x. Okay, again, pause right here, try B, C, A, and D, and see how you do on your distributing. So you're still multiplying, but you need to distribute when you see those plus and minus signs. So here you're going to multiply 3 times. All right, let's check your work. Do you get x to the 4th there? A -12x cubed, and positive 20x squared. All right, last two. Letter C. Let's take a look. So there's no number in the front, it's a positive 1, but be careful with those exponents, okay? You are going to add those exponents. All right, how did you do? The last one's a little bit more tricky. There's a -2 in the front. Again, you're still going to multiply those x's by adding those exponents, but be careful in multiplying the numbers in the front. All right, check your work, pause the video if you need to, and go ahead and fix anything that you need. All right, that's the end of lesson 4-2A. Go ahead and try your homework. Good luck.